guys, Missy here, and I'm back with part 2 of my 2025 wrap up, and I just want to talk about the books I really love this year. In 2025, one of my goals was to read all of Silvia Moreno Garcia's bibliography. I still have not finished her catalog, but I will say that my 2 favorite books so far from her catalog was The Bewitching, which this came out this year, and this is a very dark, intriguing story of 3 women from 3 different generations, and it's interesting to see how the story connects. It has witches, it has a lot of Mexican lore, and if I could rank her books, this is book number 2. Number 1 for me, which I actually am shocked that I don't have a physical book of. Wait, let me double check. I don't have a copy of it, but The Beautiful Ones by Silvia Moreno Garcia is one of my favorite romanticises of all time. Like all time. If you love Bridgerton, Pride and Prejudice, telenovelas that is messy, full of drama, but it has such a good romance, you need to read The Beautiful Ones. And in fact, I feel like The Beautiful Ones is so underrated. And Silvia Moreno Garcia talked about how that book did not sell well when she initially published it, and now it's starting to get back popularity, and now it's been bought over by, the rights have been bought over by a new publisher, I believe. So they're doing a new cover of The Beautiful Ones. And I don't really care for the new cover. I honestly love the old cover that I'm going to buy for that book. But this book deserves a special edition. Like, this book needs to get back popular, and I'm pleading and begging. Do I need to do a giveaway of The Beautiful Ones? Because I need people to read The Beautiful Ones. I need it to get as popular as all of the other romanticises, so it can get a special edition. And now that I think about it, I don't think any of Silvia Moreno Garcia's books have a special edition. And that makes me wonder if that's intentional. I don't know. I'm gonna like message her on Threads because I need to know. We need a special edition for that book. Anathema by Carrie Lake. This is dark romantasy done right. I have nothing else to say, but I love where it's going so far, and I need to read book 2. I've been busy, but I'm getting to book 2 this year. The Adventures of Amita Al-Sarafi by S.A. Chakraborty. I also have been on the hunt for more books that have mothers as FMCs, and that's another video I'm going to post. I'm going to post all of the fantasy books and sci-fi books that have mothers as the main character, because why is it that a lot of these freaking fantasy books, they're in their early 20s, and these are adult fantasy books. I'm not talking about YA. Why are these adult fantasy books, all of them are like 20 to 25 at the most? Where are the mothers? Just because you're a mother, your adventure does not stop. And this is a testament to that. Not only she's a mother, she's a pirate, she's a captain, she has a crew, and she's on the adventure of a lifetime. And book 2 is done, and that's going to be published, I believe, this year. So you need to read this. Hungerstone by Kat Dunn. This is a Carmilla retelling, and if you are not familiar with Carmilla, Carmilla is a classic sapphic vampire story that predates Dracula, written by Shreddian LaFonu, and it's a short novella. This book took all the parts and elements that I loved about Carmilla and just like enhanced it to a whole nother level, and making these characters adult. Like the main character now is in her 30s, she's married. The twist that happens in the story, and like the seduction, the eerie feeling, the horror-esque vibe to the story. I loved Hungerstone so much. It's a 5-star, and look at this cover, just freaking beautiful. And like sapphic vampires, like loved it. Now on to some cozier books that I really enjoyed this year. This is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and I did not read this in 2024, but in 2025 I read her other book, which is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, and this is by Sangu Mandanna. I love her books so much. They are so freaking healing and warm, and I feel like in terms of the cozy books or cozy shows, I feel like British media, they do a perfect job at writing cozy stories. I don't know why. I mean, think about it. And I know this is such a weird comparison, but I watch Call the Midwife, and that show is so cozy to me. I love that show so much. And the Very Secret Society, I don't know why I just put those two together, but yeah, this is like the perfect cozy story that feels like a warm hug, or like sitting by a fireplace and being snuggled. And you may even get a good cry from reading this because it's also healing and it makes you just feel seen. This is therapy in a book, okay? It may heal your inner child. Both of them, both books. I was very skeptical at first because I loved The Very Secret Society of Wicked Witches, and I was like, there's just no way she can top this. But then I read A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, and that one had me crying even more. I was like, wow, I feel seen. Like, this book, I'm about to cry right now. So I found out that she actually writes children books, middle grade books specifically, and my daughter's 10, so I've added her books to my daughter's TBR, and I will be reading her books too, because if they're just as good like this, I can only imagine how well written they are for middle grade books. And I just don't want to be done with her, and I don't know when the next book is coming out for her of this series, because I believe she's continuing this, like these standalones, but I still need to read her books. I still need more of her, so the way that I'm doing that is reading her middle grade books. Also, honorable mention, Becky Chambers. Any and Everything by Becky Chambers. I really enjoyed the Wayfarer series this year. Well, last year. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. And specifically, The Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet. I didn't really care for book 4, and I made a whole rant about book 4 and how I felt like it's reeked of white feminism. But with that being said, I can criticize the book but still think objectively Becky Chambers is a phenomenal author, and I think that her books are in a league of their own. And I specifically love her other duology, which is the Robot and the Monk duology, which book 1 is A Psalm for the Wild Build. I love that duology so much. It's so healing, so reflective, so introspective. It makes you just want to be a better person. All of her books, honestly, in my opinion, make me want to be a better person. Make me want to be a better mom, a better human. Well, it gives me hope for society. So even though I didn't really care for book 4 and I criticized it a lot on my TikTok page, I think Becky Chambers, again, phenomenal author. T. Kingfisher, I have read Nettle and Bone by her, and then I've read I started the Paladin series. I've read books 1 and 2, and then I also read her horror. I can't talk. I read her horror novella, which is 3 books. I think book 1 is What Moves the Dead, What Stalks at Night. I don't know. I read all 3 of those, and I really enjoyed them. And what I love about the Paladin series is that all of the love interests so far, they're adults. Again, grown. Why are all of these romanticities having freaking 20-year-old FMCs? And the inclusion and the representation that T. Kingfisher has in her books, it's a breath of fresh air. And I just read Paladin Strength. I love that. I love a more heavier set voluptuous woman as an FMC, which we need more books. We need inclusivity in our romanticities. We need more short male love interests. We need more queer representation. We need more women who have different body types, not the same skinny white girl as an FMC who's like in her early 20s. Like, no, we need more mothers, more fathers. The list goes on. You know what I'm saying? And I just love when an author is not afraid to branch out and do something different. Another book that I really loved this year was Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, and that's my first book that I've read by him. I know that he also wrote, is it The Martian? Let me see what he wrote. I looked it up and it is The Martian, and that was the one that became a movie. I know that Project Hail Mary is coming out this year as a movie, and I'm not excited for it. I love this book so much, and to see that they chose Ryan Gosling as the main character for Ryland Grace, I was like, he is not Ryland, like, at all. And it's really throwing me off, and I didn't like the trailer. I didn't like anything about it, and I'm talking so much shit about it, but I'm most likely still going to see the movie just to like hate watch it and compare it to the book. And me and my husband both read that together, and we both agreed that Ryan Gosling was not the right pick for that. I don't know, maybe it's just me. If you read Project Hail Mary, let me know how you feel about the upcoming movie. Do you feel like they chose the right actor? How did you feel about the trailer? Put all of that in the comments. N.K. Jemisin, any and everything written by N.K. Jemisin. My husband read the Broken Earth trilogy last year and he loved it. I love that trilogy. Also, my goal for 2025 was to finish her catalog. I still have to read, I just looked it up. In order for me to complete her bibliography, I need to read the Inheritance trilogy. But in 2025, I read her Great Cities duology. Book 1 is The City We Became, and I read her the Killing Moon duology. Book 1 is called, I misspoke. It's actually called the Dream Blood duology. Book 1 is called The Killing Moon, but either way, I read that duology this year. I loved both of them, but specifically the Great Cities. Robin Miles is one of the best narrators of all time, and I highly suggest you listen to the Great Cities via audiobook or do immersive reading, because that's probably the best book narration I have ever heard in my entire life. That one felt like a movie listening to that one. So I just suggest, please, if you can, listen to it via audiobook. Okay, that is all of the books that I wanted to mention for 2025. I know that I'm probably missing some, but that's okay because I will be posting on this channel consistently going forward, and I'm going to be giving you all of the books that I loved and I want to talk about, all of my recs, talking crap about books that I hated, and I'm just excited for this channel. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon.